For some reason, there's a lot of TV and movies in my video game report. Let's talk. What up, viewers? What up? What up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, July 19th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. Now, just to start things off, we do have some video games to talk about. The first thing of which I talked a little bit about last week, but this week was the launch of Flintlock Siege of Dawn, which is a quite forgettable name, which might be part of the reason why its Metacritic is a little bit low. It's currently sitting at a 71 Metacritic, and from what I would have read of the articles and of the reviews, like there wasn't a lot of like a wow factor to the game. Some people are actually saying it's a little brief. I looked it up on how long to beat, and it's about 5 hours mainline or 15 hours completionist or so. Or at least like more complex playthrough. So it seems to be relatively short. Gameplay is fine, but not overly impressive. And when you're coming out of something like when you're trying to do a Souls-like and Shadow of the Erdtree just dropped, I think expectations are going to be set unprecedentedly high after Shadow of the Erdtree. So trying to make a like semi-action RPG, maybe even Souls-like game coming off of that might not be impressive. So I'm still very curious, kind of what the world is and how the world gets built, and how the player character interacts with it. But this one might be put on the back burner with a review score like that. So I mean, there isn't a lot else to play. I know that there's a lot of small indie games that are coming out right around this time, as is usually pretty true of the industry as a whole. This is kind of the biggest game that's come out in the last couple months. So if you're looking for something, and you just kind of want to play through it, I think this might be one for you. But for me, I'm on the back burner. I might be looking at my backlog before I pick up Flintlock Siege of Dawn. Moving right along, the Legend of Zelda game, or as I like to call it, the Legend of Link game, Echoes of Wisdom, will actually have playable Link. According to the ESRB rating, you will be able to use a bow and sword, which are Link's weapons. And so I find it a little unfortunate that our first like debut Zelda game where you actually get to play as Zelda, you won't be like, there will still be, I guess, a portion of it where you play as Link, which I think is unfortunate. I think a Zelda game could have stand on its own 2 feet without a playable Link, or maybe Link's the tutorial session. I don't know. But yeah, I would have liked it to be wholly Zelda. And I am more excited about Zelda's moveset, summoning monsters and stuff like that, than I am about playing Link, as much as I did enjoy Link's Awakening. So a little upset by that, but I think, if the ESRB rating is to be trusted, you will be able to play as Link in the upcoming Legend of Zelda game, Echoes of Wisdom. Buzz Lightyear to the rescue. Buzz Lightyear is landing in Halo 2 as a new hero. No, it's not actually Buzz Lightyear. It's a new hero called Juno, which is a healer, which has a lot of like space themed stuff. It looks like she kind of like floats around and glides. She also calls down orbital lasers, but also has like a speed boosting gravity warping portal that you can kind of run through. So her moveset actually seemed pretty interesting, and although it looks a little derivative like Lucio, maybe that's just the character animation just like floating along. But if you take Anna and Lucio and just smash them together, maybe that's what you get Juno. But I think from what I've read of the articles, like it sounds like the character is interesting and unique to play, and one of the stronger healers to play right now. And you can actually play her right now in Overwatch 2. I think she's free for the weekend while she launches. So no pun intended there. But yeah, if you're looking to play some Overwatch 2 this weekend, be sure to check out the new hero, Juno. Who would have expected that the college football game that EA just released is getting a lot of buzz? In fact, a lot of player count. The game hasn't even out yet, and it's already reached 3 million players, which is quite impressive. It's almost like people have been asking for a college football game in a while. I assume the licensing with college football, there's a little bit of ickiness in there. Like, do the players get, are the players fully represented? Do they get, are they getting paid for their likenesses in these games? So I think there's a little bit of ickiness in there. But I think people have been asking for this for a while, and I think a lot of people are more like, at least when I hear people talking around the office about football or sports in general, I think they're a lot more interested in like college football, and there's a lot of like rivalry and where people are from. there is that at the NFL at the national level, but I just know that college football has had a lot of pent up anxiousness for a football game, and so I'm impressed by the numbers, but I'm not surprised by them because I've heard, having been in the industry for a while, I've heard people wanting something like this for a while. So, uh, I hope it continues to do well. And again, like I said, maybe there's a little ickiness on the likeness side of things. This next piece of news hits a little bit close to home. Some of my friends over at NetherRealm was hit with a series of layoffs this week. About 50 or so jobs were lost, which is pretty big for a big studio. That's still a significant portion of the development team. It seems like it's mostly on the mobile side, so there won't be any more mobile support for any of the Mortal Kombat games. It seems mostly, at least what from the articles I read, and I haven't heard from anybody personally yet, but it seemed like it was mostly on the mobile side. So I think the next Mortal Kombat game will still continue to be chugging along. If there is a next Mortal Kombat game after Mortal Kombat 1, whatever they're doing next. But hopefully this is just a little bit, secluded just to a part of the business that they were less interested in, which I think is actually pretty interesting considering every time we hear about WB and Zaslav talking about games, is the focus is on free to play mobile, and the fact that they just cut their mobile division for one of their biggest studios, if not their biggest studio, I find pretty two-faced there. So curious what's going on there. Speaking of mobile, Apple has just let its first PC emulation app onto the store, which I am both excited for because I saw Doom running on an iPhone, which is always fun to see. But also, if you just add in the full, like if you thought finding the right piece of content was hard before, imagine having the entirety of Steam library into the mobile app interface, which is, oh. So yeah, I think I'm excited. I assume the first one might not be the best one. That's just kind of my assumption, especially when it comes to app development. But they've let one on, so maybe they'll let more on, and hopefully they'll figure out what are the good ones. So I'm still kind of waiting back to see how PC emulation folds out here, but they put their first one on, so prepare yourself, brace yourself for the avalanche of other PC emulation apps to get codified on their platform. Recently, Nintendo announced a new detached Joy-Con charging dock. So you could normally plug your Joy-Cons onto the side of the console, but now there's a detached accessory where you can kind of put those on. I have a couple of different ones, that just kind of USB plug in. The fact that I saw in a couple of articles, the fact that these are coming so late in the cycle seems like led some people to speculate whether or not these are kind of preemptive for like Switch 2 and not necessarily for kind of Switch 1, which if it's compatible with both, cool, you can get it now, and be able to charge your Switch 2 Joy-Cons, which kind of, there's some knock-on effects of like, okay, the Joy-Cons aren't going to get bigger between the Switch 1 and the Switch 2. If that's true, if this is for both systems, there's a little bit of things you can interpolate from there, but yeah, it is a little late in the cycle, so I can see where they kind of spin up that speculation, but could just be that Nintendo wants to make a new product and sell official ones because they've been getting a lot of crap for third-party ones not being compatible or something. So, but yeah, I think that's quite an interesting speculation there. Stranger Things is making scented candles so your house can smell like Stranger Things, including Eleven's waffles, Eggo waffles, and there's like a pizza smell. There's a Ships Ahoy like ice cream smell. So if you're looking to make your house smell like waffles or pizza, I think there are cheaper ways than a $30 candle. In fact, I think for $30 you could probably buy your own waffle iron and waffle mix to make your own waffles so your house smells like waffles. Waffles. As I do because I enjoy making waffles. But if you want to represent that fandom and get some cool smells into your house, there's a Stranger Things scented candles, which I'll have officially licensed Stranger Things candles, which I'll have linked down below for you to check out. Xbox is celebrating an upcoming movie with a new console this week. We got to see a Xbox controller with butt cheeks, which only means one thing. Deadpool is coming out. I am excited for Deadpool and Wolverine coming out next week. Other than the popcorn bucket, which I definitely want, there is also a promotional Xbox, which is like all red and decked out in the Deadpool, decked out in the Deadpool regalia. But also there's two controllers and they have butt cheeks. So the PlayStation might have a butt plug, but the Xbox has an ass cheeks on their controllers. So you can be sure to check that out down in the link below. But yeah, it was quite a sight to see, and I always like these kind of one-off fun kind of giveaway things. So looking forward to the next one, and excited for Deadpool and Wolverine next week. In more Microsoft news, Paramount Plus, which if you don't jump ahead yet, but the Halo TV show on Paramount Plus has been canceled after 2 seasons. It truly could have been a show that got good in season 3, but I definitely think it meandered in season 1, and season 2 was a little bit more on course, but still not telling a story that was interesting or that we know and love from the Halo universe. So, I thought the acting was great. I liked all the actors in it. I think the writing was a little bit meandering from time to time, and I didn't have as many problems as I've had with other kind of highly regarded gaming IP related shows. Actually, Halo is probably one of the worst gaming IP shows, but I didn't have as many problems with it as a lot of people have. But yeah, I actually truly do think it would have gotten really good in season 3. At the end of spoilers for season 2, they finally got to the Halo ring, so they're finally going to start telling an actual story that we know, like the maybe the plot of the first game. But I guess we'll never see that unless I doubt it'll get picked up anywhere else. So we'll have to wait for the next Forward Unto Dawn kind of high production value fan film to get more Halo on your TV screen. So it is unfortunate. It's worth a watch if you've got a 1-week Paramount Plus trial and you want to just cram through all 18 or so episodes, if that. So yeah, it's worth a watch. I think I thought it was, like I said, I thought it was decent, worth a watch if you're a big Halo fan like I am. Last but not least, it seems you don't need a nose to get an Emmy nomination. Walter Goggins is getting an Emmy nomination as his character, the Ghoul from Fallout. And yeah, it seems like he can, his pearly white smile can put him all the way to an Emmy nomination. So I think he did great in the Fallout TV show. And I'm excited to see him and, a couple other, really good shows, Shogun, battle it out for who's going to actually win the Emmy. So I'm excited to see all that. And the Fallout show was very good. That's it for this week. Let me know if you feel I forgot anything down below in the comments. But as always, I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend. And I hope you have a super day. Bye.